I've got a low bandwidth light flashing.
It's not the size that counts. It's how you use it.
Huh?
You said...
I have a low bandwidth?
Yeah, it's not the size of your bandwidth.
I didn't say a small bandwidth.
Yeah, it's still a clever fucking... What's the word I'm looking for? That was another double entendre.
I don't get it.
Is it marked as private or?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, now I'm getting a picture. Yeah, we're rolling.
That's weird. It says we're not over here.
I got a little something going on here.
A little something, something. Is it tits?
No.
Now is it tits?
Oh, no.
It'll be tits in 30 seconds.
It might be. Hang on. Oh, I just picked up my mic. That happened like 8 hours ago. Oh, now we got some tits.
Now we get shut down.
All right, we ready to start this shit or what?
Sorry if somebody else saw my tits. Phone looks so much better out of that case.
Isn't it amazing once you pull your cell phone out of the case, you're like, this is a nice shiny piece of hardware.
It always
Yeah.
looks better when you pull out.
I wouldn't know.
Nothing you two would know about.
Oh, fucking dude, I made one kid in, 6 years of having sex. I impregnated her in the first 2 times that we did it, and all of a sudden I never fucking pull out. I always pulled out. Even the time where I fucked up and didn't pull out quick enough. Always.
What's going on?
I might check that again. I don't know if that just shut down on me or what.
Even the few times that I used prophylactics, I still pulled out. That's how aversely I was oriented to having another kid. Like, she's like, oh my God, you have a condom on. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I'm still pulling out. Don't know what to tell you.
My shit's going to die before we get started on the actual podcast.
Upstairs on the counter.
I will run up and grab it. It says it's still rolling. We had a viewer. Then, yeah, we have a viewer.
Is it you?
Yeah.
Are you
All right,
the viewer?
I don't know. Does it count me when I'm looking at viewers?
I don't
Probably.
know. Probably.
Oh. Well, fuck that. Now we have none watching. It doesn't count me.
All right, we're going to do this shit. Yeah, he's like, they don't even fucking know how fucking what.
I don't know how technology works. Where's the phone charger at?
Up on the counter, like to the left of the sink. It's got 2 wires on it. When you break it down, use the one that's got a knot in it, because the other one doesn't work. There's one in my room, but it's plugged in on the other side of my bed. It's a pain to get to. I'm inside you.
I'm hearing voices.
Suck Toby's dick.
No voice in my head. That doesn't sound like a good idea at all.
Do it or I'll take your soul.
Where?
To hell.
That's a fair trade. I think I'll...
Come on, man. Just suck my dick.
I'm one of those people who like just puts off horrible shit, and I don't really think about the consequences because I don't have to deal with it till tomorrow. I'm not going to go to hell till I die, so I'm not too worried about the consequence. And then when I die, and they're like, hey, you remember like 45 years ago when I told you could suck Toby's dick and not go to hell? And I'm like, yeah, I do remember that. Like, time to pay up. And I'm like, fuck, wish I would have sucked Toby's dick.
Yeah, just a bunch of demon dicks in your face.
When I realized how bad hell is, I totally would have sucked Toby's dick to avoid this, but well, whatever.
And then you wake up.
Story of my life. I
And
don't
you wake
think
up to this very point in time, like,
I don't
Toby, I gotta suck your dick.
now.
Oh, all right.
I really don't think my decision's through until the consequences staring me in the face. I'm one toe. I'm like testing the burning pits of hell like a hot pool or a hot tub. I'm like, oh fuck, we should have sucked Toby's dick 45 years ago.
What? why did
He's like came in the middle of this conversation.
I want to know why did Toby's dick save you from hell?
A
Or not
demon.
save you
A
from
demon came, told him
The
to.
voice in my head told me I had to suck Toby's dick or it was going to drag my soul to hell, and I told him, well, I don't have to deal with that till I die, so I'm not sucking his dick.
Look at him trying to justify sucking your dick.
I'm justifying sucking his dick and not sucking his dick all in the same train of thought.
You're a confused young man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Better just suck it.
Just do
I
whatever.
get to hell. I get to hell. I choose not to suck Toby's dick right now because if I don't, I'll go to hell, and I'm not worried about it because I'll deal with that later. I get to hell, and all it is just like 4 million Tobys standing there with drop trow, like just suck them until your teeth hurt, you know.
Yeah, I get to stop them. My teeth hurt. Oh,
No.
my teeth hurt.
It's you gotta get through 4 million Toby dicks, and then they'll let you into heaven.
Like full climax.
Yeah, and you gotta swallow.
I think after about 2 or 3, my enthusiasm is going to wane, and it's going to be much harder to get him to reach climax.
Like, I
Like,
have 4 in. You're like, what's first fucking great about heaven, anyways?
first 2 dicks, I'm like, oh, I got this. First 2 dicks, I'm like, I got this. I could suck a dick like a madman. But then after after it happens twice, I'm like, I just can't keep myself in it mentally, you know.
You're doing the.
I'm just looking at the 3,909,000 whatever it is, 4 million minus 2 dicks.
You gotta use that math problem.
Yeah.
Earlier.
It gets to be the like when you take too long to come when you're getting blown, and it just becomes a lazy hand job. By about 5, Russell just.
I think even my hand job enthusiasm would wane. See, but Toby's not like me. Like, I think, well, I don't know. This might be an unfair judgment, but if she wasn't into it, as long as she keeps stroking, you're probably going to come, right?
I don't know.
No. See, like, to
I've
me,
never had a dude try to.
to
get
me,
off
if I
before.
pick up on the fact that she's not enjoying it anymore, I can't come. Because I'm an egomaniac, and if I'm not pleasing her, I guess it just doesn't do it for me. I don't know. That's just my Freudian diagnosis of why I can't come if she doesn't seem like she's interested.
Really?
Yeah.
So you mean like because you said you like hand jobs or like in the past?
Oh, I like hand jobs, but I fucking hate what you were just describing, like a chore hand job. No, I don't even fucking be like. You know what? I don't like jerking myself off either, but when I do it, I at least fake some enthusiasm, all right?
I don't.
Toby just sits there crying.
I'm just like, get out of me. Get out of me, sperm.
Bad thoughts and.
Are we going to officially start this podcast now?
What, you done talking about jerking off?
I don't know.
To Jerkapalooza 2015.
Well, we didn't actually do an introduction.
Yeah, we can start whenever you guys are ready, like officially.
All right, this is the Tolerable Nausea podcast. I am Russ.
I'm Toby.
I'm Eric.
And I am Woody. and
And
she-
now we already
be
shot
here.
the conversation load with our whatever conversation that was. Now I have nothing to talk about. No, I had one thing I was going to bring up. It's been something that I've thought about for a while because I occupy my mind with completely useless shit sometimes, and like things that shouldn't matter and aren't important to me are and really bother me. But with all of the research and all of the money spent on pointless fucking things, can we like divert like $2 million to research the theatrics of sneezing? Have you ever noticed that?
Like what specifically you're talking about? Because there's a lot of dumb research. I bet you it's already been done.
Probably. Maybe I should Google some shit before I make dumb claims. But I don't know. I've never read any research or any explanation as to why people sneeze differently. Sneezing is a bodily function, okay? By general baseline default standards, everyone generally should sneeze the same, but that's not what happens. You get personality come out in the sneeze. All right, like you got some people that like, they try to stifle the sneeze. And I'm like, that's not fucking healthy, man. Don't do that shit. That's hurricane force winds you're trying to suppress right there. You're lucky you don't fucking head doesn't explode. And then women are guilty of, not all women, I'm not generalizing. Some women are guilty of the squeaky sneeze. They put that little in there, and it's like, that's completely unnecessary and forced too. Just sneeze like a fucking normal human being. But both of those two types of sneezes seem to be a suppressive sneeze. Like they're trying to suppress the sneeze somehow, which, like I said, isn't healthy. I like to think I have a pretty normal sneeze. There's no vocals in my sneeze. It's all just... It's like a, it's normal, or I don't know. That's the worst normal fake sneeze that you could possibly imagine. But the ones that really, really bother me are the fucking flamboyant sneezers.
I love the over-the-top sneezers.
You like that shit? That
They're
annoys
like, they do the head.
It's like, fucking tone it back, dude. Nobody sneezes like that.
They do the head bang.
I just hurt my voice faking that sneeze.
But like,
you know what I mean.
They'll go.
Oh yeah. It's bodily. It's like they're knocking people over and shit, and they're fucking. They got spotters on them. Like, I'm gonna sneeze. Give me a spot here. It's like, fuck, dude. It's just a sneeze. I like sneezing. Sneezing to me, especially. Well, I don't like uncontrollable sneezing though.
No, how many times? What's the longest string of sneezes you've ever put together?
Oh, I've probably broken 10, but not much
10?
more than that. Yeah,
Holy
like allergies
shit.
And shit.
Oh, really?
Like I'll sneeze, and somebody will say "bless you," and then I'll be like, "Oh shit," you feel that little tickle, and I go again, and I've gotten probably up to 10 before, but it makes me feel stupid. I hate that, because then if people are there, it's like, oh, a fucking attention grabber. He's guilty of what I'm saying. It bothers me with other people. So I don't like sneezing a lot,
I think I broke 25 or 30 the other day. I
Really?
sneezed for about 15 minutes straight.
I'd say that's probably allergies for sure then, right?
Well, my nose was stuffed up, and I used that spray. And when it finally opened up, then I just started sneezing like mad.
Yeah.
See, I like that. I like seasons. Like, I'm sick of summer right now, so I'm ready for fall and winter. And
Yeah.
at the end of fall and winter, I'm like, bring on spring and summer.
No, just bring on spring. Let's
on
just
spring,
go from
yeah.
spring, then go to fall, then go
Fuck
to spring,
summer.
and then fall. Fuck summer and winter. Fuck the
Yeah.
extremes, man. I like both of the middle ground seasons.
But I like those springtime sneezes. When you walk out and the sun catches you right in the eyeballs.
Yeah.
You crack off 3 or 4 good ones.
We've talked about this in the past, but that does make you sneeze. Bright light does.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, some people just look at me like I'm fucking from Mars when I talk about that. Fluorescent lighting will do it for me sometimes too.
See, not fluorescent. Only when I walk out in the morning.
Or
And then
snow,
I'll
like
be
in the
cracking up
wintertime, that
sneezes.
snow blind effect.
Yeah.
If the sun's reflecting off the snow, that bright white, that'll make me sneeze too.
Yeah, it's not indoor lights. It's always the sun that kills me in the morning.
Yeah. But I'm just curious. I guess my whole point is that, psychologically, that's a field of research where, to me, it's all speculation anyhow, Shrinks, psychologists, you say, oh, this is this disorder, and you do this because of this. Like, you don't fucking know. You can look at the statistic, but maybe you can't say that I'm this way because of this event in my childhood or with any 100% amount of certainty,
Yeah. I guarantee you there's...
You can look at history and say, okay, people with this background tend to have this, but then you got that off the ball. Like, well, for instance, criminal behavior or whatever. Sometimes, I've expressed my disdain for using a bad childhood for an excuse to being a douchebag as an adult, And they
in
can
most
look.
cases.
They look at it and they say, "Oh, people with bad childhoods, they probably have a higher likelihood of being up to no good when they get older." But then again, I've also seen people that seem to have a relatively functional childhood that grew up to be complete douchebags, So you're always just hit and miss with psychology, but I want them to dedicate some time to speculating what causes certain people to choose to sneeze certain ways, because this is important to me.
Okay.
For some fucking reason.
Here we go. See, you want the internet will fucking
Internet
tell you.
provides
The
psychology of sneezing or some shit.
the photic sneeze reflex, also known as photo fuck you science.
Oh, this is regarding light causing
Yeah.
sneezes. Okay.
And colloquially, sun sneezing is a condition of uncontrollable sneezing in response to numerous stimuli, such as looking at bright lights or what the fuck? It's just every word I can't pronounce. Affects 18 to 35% of the
The
population.
study was done in Iceland.
This article
But its exact mechanism. But it's exact.
was it a Reykjavikian study?
And it's a exact mechanism of action is not well understood. And then you go on Wikipedia and it's got symptoms, overview, risks, preventative measures.
I always assumed it was a bodily reaction that forced me to close my eyes because you can't. I mean, you could, like, if you pried them open, but just without any outside help from your hands or a tool, you can't keep your eyes open during a sneeze, right?
Well, the body's fucking weird.
Nobody does that, do they? Don't you always close your eyes?
They've
when you-
tried it on Mythbusters.
Could they keep their eyes open without?
The only way they could is to force it.
Right, but yeah, just by will, I can't keep my eye open and sneeze.
No.
So I always assumed that was because the stimulus was coming into my eye. My body was like, "Hey, dumb fuck, stop looking at that light." No, okay, I'll make you stop looking at it. It makes me sneeze, so that I have to close my eyes and stop that stimuli
Well,
or stimulus.
the body's weird. I mean, because you sneeze, but does anyone understand why you orgasm? I mean, why does rubbing it enough make you come?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I've ever actually thought of it in those terms. I understand from an evolutionary standpoint why having an orgasm would feel good because that makes it desirable.
Yeah, but-
It makes it likely that the species would want to procreate. I mean, if orgasms hurt, we'd fucking die. There you go. There's your birth control. You find some sort of
I think
fucking.
we discussed this.
There's
at
the
one
next
point.
form of birth control. You find a pill that you can take that makes an orgasm hurt, and you'll get this fucking population business under control.
I think we discussed this at one point on an earlier episode.
No, the
Yeah.
painful orgasm
Yeah.
because you
Yeah.
brought it up to control the population.
Oh, did I? Okay.
Yeah, and I'm like,
But
huh.
but I mean, it's the exact same thing. I mean, what are all the mechanisms in there? Why can you rub it a lot longer than I can?
Or why does rubbing my dick give me an orgasm, but not like the tip of my big toe? What's
Yeah.
special about those nerve endings?
The human body is just odd.
There's a new surgical procedure. We're doing sex changes. We're doing implants. We're doing all these things that regard to genitalia. How about you take like some of the nerves from the end of my penis and put them like on my thumb or something, so that way when I'm at work I can just be like, oh yeah, that's good. And people think I'm scratching an itch on my shoulder, but I'm really masturbating at work.
Alrighty then. I don't know why he's always walking around with a wet spot on the front of him.
Why am I the only one that? No, my thumb's not going to ejaculate. It's just going to.
If you're rubbing that part, it's going to give you that sensation.
Well, but I'm not going to. It's going to be. I don't know. So
you're
you're
still
saying
gonna come out
like
your
it'll
dick?
come out my dick, but that would be weird. Ejaculating while not erect.
Oh, you'd probably start rubbing your thumb and you get erect because it's the same sensation from.
But is my thumb going to get a hard on?
No, you're-
walk around with a thumb
No,
twice the size of my other fingers. And,
Your penis is going to get erect while you're rubbing
somebody
your thumb.
shakes my hand and I quiver a little bit, and they're like, "Wow, wasn't that good of a handshake?" You have no idea, man. I'm just walking around the bar, just shaking all these chicks' hands.
Yeah,
1, 2, 3. What have a thumb for you?
Russ is
Pin me.
sucking his
Yeah,
thumb.
pin me. Oh, you what?
Yes. Yeah, I didn't think about the whole sucking of the thumb thing. Yeah.
You really can give yourself a blowjob then.
But
Hey,
I
you don't
guess-
have to worry about breaking your neck.
Right, yeah. But the whole reason for all of this is to determine the motive, the subconscious motive to make a fucking performance out of your sneeze, or or to try to stifle it one way or the other. Like, is there certain personality types that are prone to stifling a sneeze, as opposed to somebody like is in a big elaborate sneeze indicative of narcissism, or like what's the what's the shit going on in the brain that motivates people to sneeze different ways? Because it is forced. If everyone sneezed neutrally, you'd know that.
I Googled it, and they have list after list after list about sneezing.
Yeah. I'll have to check that out then. I'm sure.
How did we get from sucking your thumb to make you come from sneezing?
I'm not real sure.
I don't know. It's just how it goes sometimes.
I'd be more weirded out if we didn't get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be odd. Odd if somehow the conversation didn't turn to a climax, and it wouldn't really be.
We just have like, sneezing is a thing, and then we just move on.
You think with us being a nation of boner pills and sexualized everything, that they haven't ever figured out to put like an electrical thing like underneath your nuts or something, where you just like press a button and give you an orgasm, and then go about your day?
I don't think most people would go about their day. They'd be like, "Oh, I'm going to hit that button again."
I think you'd find it. I think the
You
not last week, but the week prior when I had talked about trying to quit smoking, all the triggers that I have that means, I got to smoke a cigarette now. I think you'd find that type of mentality reflected in this and be like, oh, well, it's time to push a button again. I haven't had an orgasm in an hour. It's time to do it
It's
again.
like a monkey trying to get fruit.
I think you'd see. I think this is generally a guy thing. I don't know. Maybe that's not a fair statement to make. There might be some women who would be interested in a product like this, but if it was a guy thing, I think you'd end up with a lot of guys in rehab for it, and also maybe the hospital for it. I mean, there's probably an unhealthy amount of orgasms you can have in one day.
Let's
you
look at it
dehydrate
this
yourself?
way. Let's look at it this way. You had a lot of trouble with a fleshlight getting out and doing anything, right?
Yeah, and that was manual.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
No, not a fleshlight. I just had a little
pocket
pocket pussy. If I had if I had splurged just bought a fleshlight,
Splurge.
splooged.
then,
If I
yeah,
had
things
splooged.
would have been bad.
Yeah.
Because there's no way I could justify throwing out $80. Got to keep that around.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be throwing it out; it'd be investing it.
No. He couldn't throw away the fleshlight after he spent $80 on it
What's
Well,
that
why'd you
realize?
throw away the one that you had?
because he wasn't doing anything
Because he wasn't
anymore.
washing it ever.
It hardens and starts to cut me.
Oh Jesus!
Still not stopping.
No, it's like it was
Yeah,
like
you got to wash that shit every once in a while.
It was
Stick it in the dishwasher.
I mean, if you're the only one using it, you don't have to disinfect it or anything.
'Cause
But
it
at
was
least,
like
at least give it a fucking wipe down.
it was like
Throw it in the dishwasher.
It was like a little
with
water
the dishes.
sock.
Yeah.
Like it was basically a what do we talk about? What are they called? Where you fill up the surgical glove with water?
Oh,
A fifi.
Fifi. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
going to say
it's-
Luffy, but that's not
It
right.
was
sorta like
basically
that,
a
yeah.
fifi where it's just a rubber sleeve, and you rubbed it up and down, like it just felt awesome.
Lube? Was it lubed?
It's like self lube. It was like really smooth.
Really?
Yeah, it was really cool. I know what I'm getting you guys for Christmas.
Does it come in extra small?
I've got some money saved up. Maybe I'll just go buy you a fleshlight. Is that a weird gift? Would that be weird? Is that crossing some friend boundaries?
That might be a little on the odd side.
It's not as bad as a bro job, but it's
Oh,
approaching. It's
It's
approaching
really weird
that
if you
weird
get it
level.
cast up your butthole and then give it to him.
Okay, I won't get you a fleshlight.
But don't tell him till he's fucked it for a week and be like, "That's my asshole."
April Fools! You just fucked my ass. Fucking cast mold of it.
Has anyone gotten onto the Fleshlight website? I know I talked about
Oh,
it a while
yeah.
ago.
I did hear a while back, remember? Because I told you they had the Navi.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So you did tell me, but I get on there like I'm dropping the $80. My girlfriend doesn't want to fuck me very much anymore, so I'm just gonna get one.
Yeah.
And then
This
that,
is an arbitrary situation, right?
that way I gotta stop bugging her and I can just use it. So I've spent a lot of time. They have so many porn stars and so many models and so many sleeves. It's hard to decide.
I would think that if that's the situation, maybe she'd be willing to split that expense with you.
You think?
Yeah.
I think morally she's obligated.
Supplement my
Well, she's like,
Hey,
if
it's a
it's going to
win-win.
make you leave me alone
Exactly.
Kim, will you supplement my Fleshlight?
here, if she's watching.
Yeah, I thought she's watching right now. She could be.
She doesn't ever listen to the Final Cut product.
Yeah, this is what she listens. I'll post it and then she'll listen. Sometimes she does this live thing. I don't know, but that'd be all right.
Yeah.
Maybe this is what I want for Christmas. Fleshlight. Everyone buy me a fleshlight for Christmas.
She'll get you the Frankenstein. Or the zombie. Did you see that one?
There's a zombie.
Uh-huh.
That's odd.
Does it fall apart while you're fucking it?
No.
Like it's like one-time use.
Does it smell like roadkill?
I don't know. It's got...
Who wants this?
Yeah, exactly.
No, look on the website.
Fucking
Yeah, let's look at it.
necrophiliacs.
Because we were... I was telling one of the guys at work about that. They had the Navi. And he goes, what? So I showed it to him.
And you never saw him again.
Well, you got something on your little notepad over there. Well, not notepad, on your...
Oh, I just got the stuff from last week. You want to
Oh.
hit a couple of things from last week that we didn't get to? And then I have a whole new list of things. So if you guys want to talk about something, let me know. I just got filler.
Yeah, well, that's all I ever have. Isn't that all this podcast is?
Yeah,
It's
this
like,
is
all
filler.
right, how am I going to find out a way to fucking talk nonstop for an hour? Oh, I'm just going to bring up dumb shit that crossed my mind earlier today. That sounds good. And then eventually it'll turn into jerking off, and because that's what always happens.
Well, I've got a little bit of a retractor. The blood moon doesn't happen until the 28th. It says the 23rd. So
What's significant about the 23rd, though? There still is something significant about that date.
there was
It's a holiday. It's a Jewish holiday.
the
or-
Rosh Hashanah.
Is that why it's significant?
Yeah,
Because I've heard...
right.
September 23rd?
Yeah,
I have no idea. When
yeah,
the
but
Rosh
the actual blood moon doesn't happen until 28th.
Jesus Christ, you fucking drama queen.
Yeah, I
Calm
know.
down.
Sorry. I knew that was coming. I'm like, fuck, I have to sneeze and somebody's going to heckle me about it.
So I've got two from last week. We'll pick one and we'll just skip the other. I have shooting cops, and then I have transgender locker room.
The transgender locker room sounds like more comedic potential because if we get into the shooting cops talk, I'm probably not going to be
Bring a
happy-go-lucky. Yeah.
Okay, so
there
we'll-
might be a rant in
We'll
there.
skip that one.
Oh, we don't want to hear me rant. Okay,
Well, it says,
fine.
I
Fuck it.
looked up to September 23rd, and it's the end of the world is set for that day.
See, and then but the blood
Well,
moon. was-
they fucked up again.
And there's a cloud of asteroids that might destroy the Earth that day, too.
Good.
Is this source any more reliable
Good.
than
I hope it hit
Mayans?
us yesterday.
Oh, no.
We're all dead
I'm
now.
sorry, the 24th is when the cloud of asteroids is set to destroy
So
the
there's
Earth.
still a chance.
Yeah,
Pacific
but
time?
You better get to
I was
sucking
going to
this dick.
say, if it's the 24th
Well, you thought you had
here, that
45
means it
years.
might be the 25th
Well,
somewhere
you have
else,
a
and
day
like over
to
in
suck
China.
Yeah.
this dick.
Jesus. I'm not sucking your
Or
dick,
you'll
Toby. Let
burn
it go.
in hell.
You better
Suck
hurry up,
my
Russ.
penis
Time's
or you'll
counting
That
down.
burn in
consequence,
hell.
I don't have nearly as
Suck on
long
my
to avoid that
penis or you'll
consequence as I
burn in
originally
hell.
thought I did.
Suck on my penis or you'll burn in hell.
Not happening.
Damn it. Why don't you even arrange this end of the world then? Anyways, I'm not going to get my dick sucked. Call off the asteroids.
Call them off.
Toby's alien contacts. He'd be like, dude, he's still not blowing me. You can cancel the asteroids.
I'm never going to get my dick in this guy's mouth.
Well, we're still going to charge you for him. What the fuck? Fine,
we're-
fuck it, bring him. If I'm paying for it, we might as well have this shit
Yeah.
happen.
Thought we were
Put
gonna
it on my
trick you
tab.
into it. Apparently, there's this. There's a real issue about.
Oh, both of these things are going to piss me off. I know what you're talking about now. You said transgender locker rooms, right?
Yeah, high
Yeah, go
schoolers
ahead and go
and
with this,
everything.
but it's still going to upset me. I can't guarantee there won't be a rant here.
And I didn't look up the article, but I've heard it on the news and everything, so I'm just going from memory here. Somewhere down in Texas, this young fella, he associates himself or sees himself as a woman or whatever, so he does not want to change in the guy's locker room, and he refuses to change because I just burped, sorry. But it's a big enough school, so they actually have it's where both boys and girls can go into the locker room. So they have 3 locker rooms now. They have guys, girls, and What would that be called?
Well,
Co-ed?
yeah, co-ed is the traditional
Co-ed,
term,
okay.
like a co-ed bathroom.
So that's an option too. But he refused
Wait,
to
they
go
have
in
a
that.
co-ed locker room where they can like choose willingly to go in there?
Yeah.
So basically you have a guy's locker room, a girl's locker room, and
A
a
sex
locker room where a bunch of guys just sit in there waiting for a chance to see a naked chick and no
Yeah,
women ever use it.
Pretty much, but completely legal now. So this is what the larger areas have come to. But this dude says that he refuses to go into the co-ed, and then he refuses to go in the guys because he associates a girl. He's a girl at heart. That's what he is.
Has he got the change?
He has not got the change.
Then you're not going in the girl's fucking locker room, dude.
Yeah,
Sorry.
But that's
If
what,
you're a girl at heart, dude, fucking go to Kickstarter, man. People will give you the fucking money to get your change. Everybody's so pro supporting of that.
Who's gonna do a sex change on a teenage boy?
Yeah.
What doctor?
Yeah.
Well, so what do his parents think about it?
they're in support of him. I mean,
So the
sure,
parents will sign
sure
off
they're very
can you not be in
open-minded.
support?
with the parents signing off. Then a surgeon can do it.
Yeah, it's but I mean, can you not be in support of something like this? Be like, your junk identifies you. Can you do that now? Can you still, or is it whatever you feel?
I'm
Look,
sure there's
dude,
still a
if
lot
you're
of people
still-
out there that are going to disown their child if they do something like that. But I mean,
I'm sorry.
otherwise we wouldn't be having the issues with gay marriage.
If you're swinging a dong, you're not changing in the girls' fucking locker room.
Not in
Sorry.
high school. Not in high school.
No,
I
no.
give a fuck about your
Well, when you get to
trust or
college,
whatever, yeah.
people are a lot less modest, but there still are some, But yeah, college is a little different. But I'm still not saying it's right. What I'm saying is that if a high school girl, okay, you identify as a woman, that's all fine and dandy, but you're gonna make every fucking girl in that locker room uncomfortable. Quit being such a dick. All right? If you want to get the change and you want to be a woman, then be a fucking woman. But if you're swinging dong, you're not in there. Sorry. You want to be special and unique, then you get a special, unique fucking locker room. Deal with it.
Yeah, it's called the co-ed or whatever.
Yeah.
That third locker room that they set up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's for you. That's where you go because you're unique. You're a special
You
little
might
fucking
not be a
butterfly.
guy
That's
at heart, but you're a guy.
you go into the
in
special little
physical.
butterfly fucking locker room.
Physically, you're still a guy.
Well, the only
Yeah. Now, if he gets the full change, like he's gone through the surgery and for not all intents and purposes, but for the majority of intents and purposes, is a woman, then
Yeah, that's
so
fine.
be it. But even then, if the issue is that every other girl in the locker room, if they're still uncomfortable, I'm sorry, but this concept in this country where we're putting either the individual's rights or the minority's rights well above the majority's rights is absurd. Now, I'm not saying that sounds like a very socialist
that was-
idea there.
that was my question: is do the rights of one person
Outweigh the-
supersede to
No.
be politically
No.
correct?
No.
Supersede the rights of every other girl in that high school,
No, they do not. They do not.
and that was that's the only way I see that story is it's one dude, and yeah, I mean
This is
let
okay.
him be
We
who
talked
he
about
is.
it on the
Yeah.
podcast that I just listened to. We had discussed some of this, and I had brought up the whole "it's okay, but don't shove it in our face."
Mm-hmm.
This is a prime example of it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a prime example of it. You have your lifestyle. You're entitled to that lifestyle, but people who are not comfortable with it should not be forced to be subjected to it.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they're doing.
And maybe this kid isn't. Maybe he legitimately is, right? Maybe he legitimately is that way. I'm sure he probably is. I'm not saying that he's
Well, it's not
faking
something
his-
you make up.
Right.
Why would you want to
Well,
put yourself in
no.
high school in Texas?
It might be something I'd make up. I might very well if I'm one of those fucking guys. Why the fuck wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I say I identify as a woman so I can hang out in the fucking girls' locker room just because I'm a pervert? This kid probably isn't, but what about the next kid? What about the next kid who says, I identify as a woman, I refuse to do it, just so he can go in there and see naked high school girls? What's
Yeah.
stopping that from happening?
I see your point. So you're like, put your money where your mouth is. Get rid of your dick, and then you can get in.
Exactly. Exactly.
You gotta
that
pay the
proves
price.
to me that you're not this douchebag pervert who's just lying so he can see some cooch. All right, you go and chop your dick off. That's going to extreme measures just to see some teenage boobs. All right,
And if that's the measure you went to, high five, dude. That's dedication.
can those procedures be reversed?
He gets in there. He's like, "Yeah, but oh no."
What have I done? But that kind of bothered me a little bit.
It's this notion of catering to the minorities.
Yeah.
You have to protect the rights of minorities.
Oh, for sure.
You do. You can't.
But not
you
at
can't,
the expense of the rights of the
not
majority.
at the complete expense. You know, like
Yeah.
there's a compromise to be found there. But to me, this seems like a complete. Like anybody who's looking at this situation and be like, "Oh, he has every right to be in that locker room." I completely agree.
They found the
It's like,
compromise.
you're
They-
absurd, man.
Yeah, they have the compromise in place.
Exactly.
And he
They have that
refuses
third
to
locker.
use it.
Yeah, exactly. That's yeah. He needs to be in that middle locker room. And period. That's what it's for. Sorry. You know, if
Yeah.
you don't like it, deal with it.
That's where I'd go poop at.
Yeah, because no one's going to go
There's
in the
somebody in
locker
there.
room.
I'm just gonna go poop in there.
Right.
They
You
talked
don't
about
have
it
to
on
worry
South
about
Park.
somebody coming in while you're shitting.
Cartman did that in South Park so that he could have his own toilet. They probably got the idea from this,
Yeah, probably, huh?
Yeah.
just
But,
so he could poop by himself.
Oh, he identified as a transgender just so he could shit alone?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, me and one of the carpet layers I load out every morning, we talk about some weird shit. Usually deeper shit than you think two guys like us would talk about. But, like, this morning we're talking about, like, what it'd be like to be, like, truly psychotic. Like, what it'd be like to see things that weren't there.
Oh, like hallucinating.
Yeah.
Psychosis.
And then thinking that you have different other people inside your body, like, you have different personalities. I mean, we know what it is.
I imagine you wouldn't realize you were crazy, right?
That's what they say. But
Like, I think
would ya?
that's isn't that kind of the indicator where you start to get a notion that you might be nuts. Chances are you're not fully nuts. You're at least aware enough to know that you have a problem. I don't think you're full blown.
Yeah, isn't that what they say? If you're truly psychotic, you don't know that you're
Yeah,
psychotic.
you have no idea that you're
I have no
psychotic. I
idea.
wouldn't imagine.
Yeah, but we were talking about stuff like that, and I mean, I understand it, but I can't imagine identifying like, hey, I am female.
I am female.
I am
Female. Yeah.
But, and then you have all the different subtitles, like I am female, but I'm also a lesbian. That just gets really weird.
I'm saying you have to choose.
Yeah.
You have to pull a trigger. All right. You can't. You can be a guy who identifies as a woman, but you can't be on the fence.
Yeah.
Like in that regard. Now, bisexuals, you could be like, oh, I enjoy having sex with both men and women. That's fine. But you still are able to look in the mirror and say, I'm a man. I'm a bisexual man
Oh,
who
you're saying
enjoys.
choose your gender.
Right. I'm a bisexual man who enjoys intercourse with men and women, or vice versa. I'm a bisexual woman. But you don't just sit there and be like, am I a woman? Am I a man? I don't know. I think I'll be a woman today. Okay, let's be a woman today. That sounds good. And then the next day, I'm like, oh, I'm going to be a man. You just pull out the man or woman card whenever it suits your fucking interests. Now,
Okay. Now
You
that
gotta-
is
you gotta-
psychosis.
you got to pick. You got to choose. You can't be on the fence there when it comes to what gender you identify with.
Have we made national headlines yet?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure, that is something seriously wrong in there if you can't decide
Right.
from day to day. Well, there that went.
Well, I'm glad I decided early.
Yeah.
I didn't decide. Nobody gave me a fucking choice.
Because it's not a choice.
Yeah.
You feel it on the inside. Usually if there's a wiener in there or not.
Well, see, I guess this is what confuses me, though. Okay, and this is just coming, I'll admit it, from a pure place of ignorance. Well, it's not. I'm not ignoring it. I just don't understand it. Maybe that is ignorance. To me, ignorance is refusing to try something or refusing to accept any idea. That's ignorance. I'm willing to accept it if somebody could explain it in a way that makes sense. But I have gay friends, gay guy friends. I don't have very many lesbian friends. Why do lesbians get their own separate title?
What do you mean?
Well, if a guy's gay, you
because-
say he's gay. If a woman's gay, you say she's a lesbian.
Or
Why
she's
don't?
gay.
Yeah, but they get that separate designation, lesbian. Why don't guys get a special? Okay, there's gay.
We
but,
did give him that, but it is horribly offensive.
Well,
yeah.
it's
Not
I mean,
me.
just look at society. It's people look down a lot more on gay dudes than they do on gay women.
That might be a generalization, but you might be correct. I don't know. I mean,
I think so. In my own,
you may
personal
very well
opinion.
be correct, but I don't think it's
private
based on any
guys
research.
don't look down on lesbians at all. But when they're staring at their computer screen,
Yeah,
they
I'm
really
usually
love
looking up
lesbians. Yeah,
But you know what I mean. I think that it's I think gay guys are generally looked down upon way more than gay women.
oh yeah.
Yeah, probably overall. I don't know. Certain lesbians get a bad rap, but in some instances, I think they fucking deserve it. Sorry.
Just the feminist lesbian.
Yeah.
The only thing worse than a feminist is a feminist lesbian.
You
Oh,
can't
who
win.
are we kidding? They're all lesbians. Some of them just don't admit it.
That's a conversation you can't win. It's,
We just lost our 2 female viewers. Sorry. No, I got sidetracked with the whole lesbian thing. What was the fucking...
Happens to me on the internet all the time.
Yeah, me too.
Damn, now I forgot where I was even going because I got sidetracked by the fact that lesbians get their own special title.
where were you going with that?
Where were we before that?
I'm talking about the locker room.
Oh, okay, yeah. This is my ignorance. This is what doesn't make sense to me. Okay, you have all these different subcategories, and yet, along with the sneezing, granted, apparently there are explanations. I just didn't Google them, but there's still okay. Here's a legitimate thing. So let's devote some time for psychological research. Is not because it's a problem or not because it needs to be cured, but just because as a human race, we should always seek answers to questions. And so I want a psychological explanation for homosexuality and also the individual differences, all right? Because you have, that's where I was going. I have gay guys that are friends. I don't have very many lesbian friends, if any at all. If they are, they're not open. But I have gay guys that are friends, but they don't identify as women. They prefer sex with men, but they acknowledge that they are a man.
Yeah.
And I guess that's where I have a hard time wrapping my head around it. Okay, so and then you got okay, I identify so I'm gay, I'm not transgender. I don't feel like a woman trapped in a man's body. I just like having sex with dudes. Okay, fair enough. But then you got another guy who identifies as a woman, so he would be transgender or just not until he gets the surgery or whatever, but like mentally he's a woman stuck in a man's body. And so then do we not consider him gay? If he's a woman stuck in a man's body psychologically and wants to have sex with dudes because he's a woman. Women want to fuck that. Well, straight women. He's a straight woman trapped in a man's body. Is he not gay then?
No, it's like going down Alice in Wonderland's rabbit hole. You just
Right.
you don't know what the fuck's going on anymore.
But then you get a lesbian woman trapped in a man's body. Is he straight? Until he gets the procedure? Is that a straight man? Am I a lesbian trapped in a man's body right now? I could be.
you might be.
Do you want to cut your own penis off?
I'm a lesbian.
Do you like to dress fabulous?
I'm a lesbian. Or no, I'm a woman who identifies more as a man who was fortunate enough to be born into a man's body.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I think. And what sucks is everyone.
I just want an explanation, even if it's not a good one. All
I
right,
don't even
some
understand.
psychologists out there really start doing some legit research, some unbiased, non-bigoted or whatever research into this, and we need volunteers from that community of people to be open-minded about this and really start answering some questions, so we can get to the root of what causes it, not because it needs to be cured, like I said, but just so we have answers.
You'd never be able to do those experiments or observations or whatever you want to call it, because that makes it look like you're trying to fix the problem.
It's not a problem. I just want to identify
But
the reason.
But the transgender community and everything would consider it you trying to fix the problem. You know what I mean?
Well, then who's being narrow-minded here?
Oh, they are. By far.
You know,
I mean,
I just want to understand it. It's coming from a place of understanding. I think
Is
you
it
could.
really
I
worth
think you
the
could
time and
eliminate.
money
I
worth
think you could
understanding?
eliminate a lot of the bigotry and the ignorance if we were able to come up with some relatively concrete answers and definitions.
I mean, even if
I
you
think
had,
that lucidity, that ambiguousness, where it's like, oh, we don't know why, but that's what lends itself to people drawing their own conclusions. Your religious people saying, oh, it's a choice, it's fucking deviant, you know. It's because nobody has been able to present them with a fucking solid answer, so
No,
they just immediately go to their
okay.
default.
you could do all the scientific
you
research
can
you wanted to.
you could give them the perfect answer. You could give them the
You're
exact
going exactly where I'm
cause. You can do whatever you want, but those religious assholes are still going to call it deviant behavior.
Okay, so then
Because the Bible said so.
Okay, so then the people who consider it deviant, but not because of a religious teaching, which probably are very few people,
Exactly.
but okay, then just do it for me, just one fucking
One
person who
fucking
actually
person,
gives a
yeah.
shit about this. I don't think it's deviant. Okay, I don't think it's immoral. I don't have a problem with it, but I don't understand it, and I want to understand it. I want it to make sense to me. I want there to be a reason.
And I'm pretty sure most of them, it doesn't make sense to them either, though.
Yeah.
I don't need a reason.
That would bother me if I was gay. If I was gay, I would definitely want a fucking answer as to why I was gay. Why do I feel this way? You know, because it's not wrong, but it's, you know, it's different than the standard. And so if I was different in some way, I want to know why.
But it doesn't matter outside of just people being assholes to you. I know that's a pretty big thing. But I think it should be like if you want to dress fabulous and have sex with whoever or whatever you want, as long as you're not hurting anybody, who gives a fuck? That should be our mentality. We shouldn't be trying to get a fucking science team on this to understand.
We get a science team on everything.
Yeah. That's
Why
a good
not?
point.
Why not this? You know,
Because it shouldn't be an issue. Just as long as you're not hurting anybody.
There's a scientific
Or raping
team out
anybody
there
or whatever.
studying why one pop has more fizz than the other pop. I'll guarantee it right now.
or why do people pick their nose and eat it? Why do some people just pick their nose? You know why?
Because it's nutritious.
And delicious.
There was actually a study about picking the nose and eating it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Did anyone call them bigots? I'm not hurting anybody by eating my boogs.
It turns out that the people who
Quit
picked their
analyzing me.
who picked their nose and ate it actually had stronger immune systems than people who did not.
I'll bet you that it's not going to motivate anybody who hadn't already developed that habit at a young
Kind
age.
of helps me justify my childhood a little
Nope.
bit. I don't want to get sick when I'm older.
Everybody eat your boogers.
I don't really get sick that often.
Eat
so.
your boogers.
Let your children eat their snot. It'll be all right.
It's fine.
Cool, I didn't need friends or anything, so I don't
Nah,
have to be
here's
sick
what we
now.
need to do. Since we're never going to convince the population to start eating their boogers for their own health, we just need to start putting boogers into the water supply.
All right, I've been doing
It's
it.
what's
at Runza.
like fluoride.
You've been doing it at Runza. You've been helping the
I'm
country.
just helping the world.
Yeah, that's why I didn't kiss a girl until I was 17 because I was worried about my immune system. I was eating boogers in elementary school.
You didn't want to get her pregnant because you weren't quite sure exactly how it worked. Come on.
She came on to me and I was like, no.
We went to a school with a dude who thought how he got a girl pregnant was to pee in her.
Really? At what
Okay.
age?
At I'm gonna say sophomore junior level.
Holy
Somebody
crap.
skipped sex
Jesus
ed.
Christ, what's wrong with your
apparently,
stupid school?
Yeah.
right?
He
must
didn't
have
even
been-
grow up on the farm, did he?
I'm not gonna blast somebody out on the podcast, but you got to let me know who that is.
I'll let you know.
Yeah.
And I felt so bad for the dude. I mean, he's a sweetheart of a guy.
Just go around peeing all
Yeah.
these girls, no babies.
But the older classmen were mocking him because
Oh, sure.
Well, yeah.
because he had said something and they had brought him in the room. It's like, hey, tell him, and they just made fun of. I felt so bad for the dude.
I think I
don't-
might
yeah.
have an idea who you're talking about, but like I said, we'll talk about
Yeah.
it.
Like immediately he was like, oh no, that's not where babies come from.
Yeah.
I want to grab him.
My
But
dad is an asshole.
yeah, he's all like, he's gonna pee in her, and
Somebody really screwed up that birds and the bees story.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He either must not have been paying attention, or
never went to that
Something.
class.
I don't know. Because sex ed, we learned that. Shit, I can remember the birds and the bees talk that my dad had. It was, I won't say at an inappropriate age necessarily, because he didn't talk about sex, but he was talking about sperm and eggs and the scientific aspect of it, you know.
My dad took me to Porky's when I was 5.
Yeah, but anyway,
This
even
is
at
really
a,
how this works.
even
Okay.
at a young
My
age.
dad
Well,
used to
I
watch
think that's what it
Cinemax
was
when I
because
was
we
very
watched. What was it? We watched Look Who's Talking. You ever watch that movie?
Oh yeah.
You remember the opening scenes?
very
Yeah,
good.
well,
I was
there's-
thinking about it the other
I was
day.
a kid, and I was asking a
like
bunch of
walking
questions
on
about that opening
sunshine,
scene,
like-
and there's just no way for him as a dad to be able to dodge those questions after watching what I just
sperm
watched.
just
And he's like,
digging
okay,
out of
well,
you.
here's what it is. You know, those are sperm, you know, and those are the man's contribution or whatever, you know, and then the egg is the female. And so he was kind of explaining the science behind it. So I knew even at a young age that it wasn't pee that did it.
Yeah.
Now, granted, post-coital, there is a small amount of sperm in urine, but I still don't think it'd get the job done, right?
Probably not.
Does it
No,
die
urine,
in urine?
urine kills
Kills it?
sperm. That's why the pre-cum gets all the urine out of your.
So it's a
urethra.
good idea to pee in her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a
I mean-
contraceptive.
especially if you never want to see her again.
Peeing in her is a contraceptive. Not only isn't it kills the sperm, but you'll never fuck that chick again. So you don't have to worry about impregnating her.
It's a win-win. She's fucking peeing me. Yep.
Only a little.
I'm not gonna call you. Bye.
I forgot the condom. I just wanted to take care of it.
Fucking peeing. That's awesome. I want to meet the guy who's actually tried that. Or not tried, just accidentally happened.
Well, there's that song by Two Live Crew. She thought I came in her mouth, but I was only peeing.
Oh, too loud. It's weird that CD got banned when we were kids.
I don't know.
Can't imagine why.
The first time I was with a squirter, I know a little bit of it is actual urine, but I thought she was just pissing all over me. That's a weird. They didn't even warn you. I think that's maybe not.
It should be disclaimer.
Yeah, it should be like, and you're getting down to business. You're like, oh, by the way, I'm a squirter. Okay,
All right.
I
Now
can
I know.
prepare myself for that.
I'll get the tarp.
How many towels do we need? Well,
I think that, I mean, I know you're joking. Well, sort of half joking. Maybe you aren't. I've never experienced it, so I don't know how atrocious it can be, but you seem pretty concerned just by looking at your face. Seems like you actually, I'm not
The first
on board.
time I was genuinely concerned.
I'm not on board necessarily with making it a legal issue to disclose the fact that you are a squirter before intercourse, but I do think there should be a legal precedent set for disclosing venereal diseases.
Oh, yeah.
And that if someone does not disclose that information and has sex with you and you get it, that you should have legal
No, like
recourse.
scarlet letters, we tattoo it on the forehead.
Yeah.
H for herpes.
Well, I don't know about that. But then again, how could you ever prove that was the person that gave it to you? You got the burden of proof there. But I just think there are legal
Well, where
precedent.
you've only been with one woman. If you came up with it,
A legal precedent in place where that information needs to be divulged before intercourse happens.
And it does. Don't you get registered when you get you're registered with the state once you get something that's not treatable.
I think so. Yeah.
Hepatitis, AIDS, and all that stuff. You're
Right.
registered with the state.
Well, I think that okay. So if I am registered,
I don't think it's
I don't
searchable.
know. I don't know. It's
You're
not
registered
searchable.
with the state, but I can't search for it.
Yeah.
Which might be the mistake because I can search for child predators.
right. Well, see, but I don't want to throw somebody who has contracted a venereal disease in the same group as child predators.
Okay,
Because maybe they got burned.
burned.
Maybe they got burned by somebody else, and it ain't their fault. They're not sluts, or they're not promiscuous. It's just they made a mistake in character judgment, and somebody
like
burned
herbs
them.
or something's fine, but I'm talking like AIDS or something.
Right.
Something that's actually going to kill you.
Life threatening.
Yeah, I mean that should be
Yeah.
searchable.
Well,
But then again, I mean that's gonna
there for a
employers
while,
and-
people were persecuting people with that.
so maybe that's not a good idea.
I don't know, but still, it just seems like I would feel like I was wronged if someone knowingly
gave away my medical information.
Well, no, knowingly fucking gave me
herpes?
a disease that could be life-threatening. When
Well, how about moral responsibility?
yeah,
Let's
well,
try that out.
there's obviously a moral responsibility. If I had any sexually transmittable disease that was not curable, I would never have sex with somebody. I probably wouldn't even let it get to that point just out of shame. I'd probably just be a monk for the rest of my life. But let's say there was somebody, before it even got to the sex talk, or maybe at the time when talking about having sex was becoming a thing that we did,
Like, what do you think about,
I would
like,
be
what
like,
disease
all
you're
right,
thinking?
before this goes any farther, and if this ends it, then I guess I understand that, but I have to divulge this. All right, this is
That's
what's
a
up.
responsible thing to do.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
Can you imagine giving somebody
And I think that if I didn't, and we ended up having sex, and she got my disease, I think criminal charges should be able to be filed against me.
Yeah.
thing? Because that's basically some sort of an assault.
Yeah.
Because I can't go throw anthrax in your face and be like,
Right.
It's attempted murder.
I don't know. I'd say definitely in non-curable cases, but I think even in incurable ones, like if somebody fucks me with crabs, it's at least a misdemeanor, isn't
Yeah,
it?
they should have to pay your
Slap
medical
'em.
bills.
Yeah, exactly. I can take them to small claims court to have them pay for my fucking prescription shampoo, can't I?
Yeah.
I
I wonder if you could do that. Yeah. I wonder if that's ever been a case.
I don't know. It should be. Judge Judy.
Yeah.
Oh, I await the small claims court case of the Krabs
You have
versus
some
Russell
money.
Kennedy.
There's some money set aside just prepared for that.
Yeah.
Like the fucking asbestos people. Just like I got this little.
It's just that you have bottles.
my crabs
You
farmed.
have bottles of the prescription shampoo stocked up, and like in the morning, you just set one on the end table and walk out.
I want to see the lawyer commercials. You see all those lawyer commercials?
Oh yeah,
Has your girlfriend given you crabs?
right. Yeah, contact Smith and Jones Law Firm. We got your back.
No, it's Cock and Balls Law Firm.
Yeah,
There you go. We're talking about
Johnson and what's another nickname for a dick that could also be a last name?
Woody and Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson and Woody.
you were talking about doing the mock commercials.
Right, there's an
driving down
idea
here?
for one.
That's a
Yeah,
good
yeah,
idea
we could.
right
I should work on that too. We got Eat a Cock cookbook, and now we got Johnson and Woody Law Firm,
The STD lawyers.
STD lawyers.
How you guys feeling? You guys want to keep talking about STDs? Or you guys want to go out and smoke?
I'm
Come
good.
back with some.
Now let's take a break and regroup and try to get something that doesn't have to do with dicks, sex, or anything related to that. Let's
Okay.
try to get off that topic, if possible.
It's gonna be
Let's
hard.
get off on that topic.
yeah.
All right, we'll be back shortly.
controlling. I'm like, dude, I'm not. You have freedom.
God, he is
You
your
can-
son.
You can pick your outfits, but we're not going out like that. I'm sorry. I'm drawing the line with double plaid, man.
No comments or anything?
I'm not on that page right at the moment. I'm trying to leave
He
that
called
off.
me names in that argument. He
So
called
I
me a
can-
jerk.
Who did?
Jackson called me a jerk. He didn't cuss, but I could see he wanted to cuss. He stepped to me, which just blew my fucking mind. Yeah, he like chested up and shit, and I'm like, what are you doing right now? You are. I didn't say I would knock you right out of your shoes, but I had to take a breath, and it's not a good thing that I said, but I think my words were something along the lines of, "You're damn lucky I'm not an abusive parent." You know.
He throws a right cross and knocks you out.
No, that wouldn't happen. But it just shocked me. I'm like, where are you getting this from? What in God's name would make you think that you could masculine step up to me? You know? I mean,
Renee
you're a
walks in, he's
teenager,
got
but
you
you
in a
gotta
leg
wait.
lock.
You got at least 3 years
Screaming for
before
help.
that even becomes a legitimate option for you. All right, if you do some growing, you start lifting some weights. By 16, you might be able to kick my ass. But dude, you're 13. There's no way. No way.
He works the body, puts you down, throws you into a submission.
It was a rein in my own maturity moment too, though, because
I can take this. I can take this 12-year-old.
I didn't want to bitch out my 13-year-old son. You know, like, what's up, bitch? That's right. I thought you didn't want none.
I'm gonna have serious problems with Harper. She's really like mean already. One day I wouldn't give her something that she wanted. I can't remember what it was. She was so fucking mad at me. I was just sitting in the rocking chair out in the living room.
Huh. Yeah.
And I wasn't paying any attention. She was so mad. She was just screaming and ran in the kitchen and grabbed a fork and ran out into the living room and just
She's gonna shank you.
threw the fork as hard as she possibly could directly in the side of my face. Like a big fucking fork. She's like, poof, like threw a fucking fork across the room. It's bam, right in the side of the face.
She laid a smack down.
Yeah. I beat her ass. And screamed. I'm just... If you ever, like, walk by our house, you'll probably call CPS on me. I'm just screaming constantly.
You gotta establish dominance.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Alpha.
I don't know. She's gonna be a rough one. I fought constantly with my mom, like physical fights, and I have a feeling that's how it's gonna be with Harper. Mason's nice. She's one.
I got one. I got one for you. Little boys, the boys I could rein in pretty decently. And granted, this in the current situation, there's nothing I can do about it, which is why I just got to kind of sit back and snicker a little bit. But Olivia, the little girl, my little 5-year-old daughter, has taken to pooping and peeing in unusual places, which is not acceptable for a 5-year-old. And she's potty trained. She's been potty trained for 3 years. But for some reason has begun this phase where...
Don't want to give me my snack pack?
Yeah, and it's like she's cute as fuck, and so like that sometimes can blind me. But I listened to her over the phone when Renee was calling me about it, and the way Olivia was reacting, I was like, oh boy, what a shit!
Hands are full.
She's a monster, and I had to keep from laughing because Renee is pissed. She's talking to me about it, you know, and I don't know why she calls me, because I try to suggest things, because as a guy, that's what guys fucking do. You call me with a problem, I'm going to help you try to solve it. That's what, you know, I assume that's why you're calling me. I'm not a shoulder to cry on. So I'm like, well, you know, you might try this, you might try that, and of course everything I suggest gets dismissed, and I want to be like, well, the fuck you calling me then? Yeah. But so anyway, but I hear her interacting with, because this was recently, it happened within like the last 20 minutes, you know, and I'm hearing Olivia's end of it, and she's playing that cute card. And she's apparently sitting there with her hand over her mouth, like snickering about it. And Renee's just getting livid, and rightfully so. I mean, like, what a fucking shit. And I'm not trying not to laugh, because I think it's funny too, because it's not happening to me, you know. But Renee was like, "Oh, you think that's funny?" And he's like, that's not funny. It's inappropriate. I mean, she's doing what you do as a parent. You're like, that's disgusting. It's inappropriate, and it's naughty. You need to not be doing that. Why are you laughing? And Olivia says, I can't stop it. I can't stop it. And she's just being a dick about it. She's a 5-year-old little girl just being an asshole. Yes, she can stop. She knows it's bad. I don't know why she's doing it. I know she knows it's bad. But what I told her, and fuck it, out me as a child abuser, I guess, here on the podcast, but I spanked. I don't spank anymore because both of the boys are old enough and I did it enough in the past that the threat of it is enough to usually deter many behaviors. But Olivia's young enough, and we separated at an early enough age that I don't know if I ever spanked Olivia.
Yeah.
But I told Renee, I was like, well, I guess all I'll tell you is that if she was here, she would do that once. And I would take her in there, and I would make her clean it up, and I'd say, I'd say everything that you said, but I'd end it with, if you do it again, I'm going to spank your ass.
Yeah.
And if she does it again, which she's going to do it again, she's going to test it, you got to follow through. So you take 10 seconds, you calm down, and you give her a swat. Not hard enough to leave a mark, but hard enough to be effective and not doing it while you're
Leave an impression.
Yeah, hard not that's a good one. Not hard enough to leave a mark, but hard enough to leave an impression. But you got to do it in it from a moment of calm discipline, not anger, because even though you're not necessarily spanking them harder, though usually you are when you're angry, that anger can sometimes fuck with the kid, And so the last couple times that I spanked, those were my rules. Plus, always I wouldn't force them to. But I would ask them, and all but beg them, would you please, because a lot of times they wouldn't want to hug me right after I whip their ass. That makes sense. I don't want to fucking hug somebody who just spanked me. But I would make sure that it ended. The spank wasn't the end of the encounter. I'd hug them and tell them I loved them and that I didn't like doing that. And I don't want to ever have to do that again.
Much nicer than me.
Yeah, that I don't ever want to do it again. So that way they know that, I mean, they do know, but...
The way I
handle
that,
put her in timeout, turn off the TV, and she's not allowed to play with her.
The way I handle that is I roll up a newspaper, smack her in the face,
rub her face
nose
in
the shit,
tell her to sit
and
there
sit
and
there.
Think about what you did.
Exactly.
You dare get up.
Yeah.
And she has to sit in a timeout for like 20 minutes.
With shit on her face.
Well, I think the reason that I always tried to end it on an up note, like with a hug and an I love you, though, is because when I would spank the boys, it became... I mean, if you seen the fear in their eyes when they knew they were going to get a spanking, like I didn't like that. I don't want my kids to be afraid of me. You know what I mean? And so that's why I felt it was always necessary to end it with love, because I didn't want that fear and pain to be the last fucking thing that was involved in the discipline. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They need to know that it's coming from a place of love, not anger and shit.
Well, I
like
don't
that.
just like go on the rest of the day treating her like shit. As soon as she's done with her timeout and it's all over with, like half hour later, then we just go back to everything's fine. I'm just sitting on the floor playing with him as usual. And then she goes and drop kicks her sister in the face, and we do it all over again.
We get a newspaper, roll it up, smack her in the face.
Yeah, but that's what I was telling her. I was like, if you're not going to spank her, if you're against that, that's fine. But you're going to have to find some type of deterrent that gets her. Because it's a phase. She's not going to shit on the floor till she's 13.
What
it's
you
a
do
phase.
is you go in and shit in her bed and say, sleep in it. Sleep in it. See if you like it.
The more effective punishment that you find, the shorter this phase is going to be, But I just had to laugh because I'm just like, it is kind of funny. And, of course, she puts me on speakerphone when we're having these type of talks with Olivia, and so I was really having to hold the laughing in so that Olivia didn't hear me laughing about it.
Oh, my goodness, laughs. Like, while it's happening, he's on FaceTime, and he's just laughing. And I'm just, like, in tears, wanting to hurt someone. And he just laughs. Like, it's not fucking funny. He wants all these damn kids, and he just has them and then leaves. And I have to be home dealing with them.
Sounds optimal.
Yeah, sounds really good from his side of the deal. But
Brats. No, they're not too bad. Harper has her days. The second one's easy, in my opinion. Mason, she's fucking cake. it's my toddler that is a pain in the butt. Everyone's like, you have your first one, then you have your second one, and you're like, oh my god, I'm having another one. Everything's gonna change so much. It doesn't. No, you're just still pretty much caught up in that horrible toddler.
Well, I think the second child is generally easier because every stage that the second child goes through, you've been through with the other one. But but at the same time, while that second one is going through those stages that you've already experienced, the first one is beginning new stages that you have no idea how to handle yet.
Yeah.
So the first one's always going to be a handful because everything's fucking new.
And by the fourth child, you let him juggle knives.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, fuck it, he'll get cut, he'll
I don't
learn.
know how I lived. I was the fifth one. I don't know how I made it.
Yeah.
Survival instincts.
Well, by the time I was old enough,
berries and grass.
Your
we
parents
go
were
to
just
Grandma's
like,
house, the TV's on
Darwinism will take its course.
TV
Either she'll
tray.
make it or she won't. Fuck it.
You got a 500-pound TV on a TV tray. Dad's like, let him pull it off on his head. He'll learn.
See, and you survived, so you're passing on survivor genetics to your children. So your children will be fine.
Oh, yeah, they're gonna be great. They're gonna be
If
tough
they
little
weren't meant
shits.
to survive, then you wouldn't have, and you know, natural selection would have run its course.
Weeded it out, yeah.
So anyway,
Oh, anyway.
yeah, we're going back to you for the default filler material.
Oh, default.
We
Okay.
think that
Yeah.
conversation
Default.
has ran its course, and we're all looking to you to
Okay, well,
Do you wanna
to
go
give
back
me
to
something
the-
else to talk about.
we have some medical or the pharmaceutical news.
What?
The
Oh,
AIDS
you
guy,
said
the
earlier?
guy with the AIDS medication.
You had talked doctors. You said there was some doctors, but not doctors of medicine.
No, yeah.
Some conspiracy
the conspiracy thing, right? Is that what you're
Oh,
talking
Yeah,
about?
well, that's what I'm talking about.
We can go into that, or we can go into I got a lot of vag news this week.
Haven't we been talking about genitalia and sex and stuff like that?
Yeah, but
Enough.
we didn't
Don't we
have,
have our fill for
We
this
didn't have the
podcast?
proper perspective here. See? She wasn't
We
here.
didn't have an actual vagina in the room to chime in.
Yeah,
Exactly.
a lot of giner news.
I don't know.
But we'll start with Woody, and then because I can go off of that.
All right, hold on a second.
I am genuinely curious after the conversation we had prior to the podcast what Woody's bringing here.
Yeah, for
What's that?
I said I am
month and a
genuinely
half now.
curious what Woody's
I just took
bringing
the
in
taste
here
off of it.
because of our conversation prior to the podcast.
Three scientists investigating melting Arctic ice may have been assassinated, professor claims.
I believe it.
Yeah, Cambridge professor Peter Wadhams suspects the death of three scientists were more than just extraordinary coincidences.
These were scientists that were going to confirm climate change.
They were studying climate change well, they were studying melting Arctic ice,
Right.
basically. And
Well, I thought
three
we
of
had-
them died in a 2-month period.
I thought that we had the general consensus was that climate change is a thing, but not necessarily caused by human behavior, right?
Well, I don't know.
No, there's a
That's,
lot of people out there.
I mean,
saying
to
that
deny-
climate change is not a thing.
But
'Cause
that's
there's,
ignorant.
there's a lot of people out there saying that God will come down and save us. I mean, religion plays a big part into this. That we can't alter the Earth's ecosystem because God won't allow it.
Well, there's climate change, and then there's man-made climate change. I'm not totally sold on the man-made climate change, but I'm not ignorant enough to deny that it's happening altogether.
We've definitely accelerated climate change. That's what the majority of scientists say.
So how
Yeah.
come it's only these three that are getting knocked off?
Well, because they're fucking dumb and they shouldn't be scientists.
Yeah, no, they were studying it. Or I don't know, but the guy says he's afraid of being labeled as a loony because he thinks this. But three of his colleagues died in strange accidents.
And what were his thoughts? That we're not contributing?
Well, it doesn't get into that. I mean, he thinks that it might have been the oil industry or some nefarious government organization or something. But I mean, the way they died was kind of strange. I mean, The one.
Well, was all their research burned and disbanded? I mean,
It doesn't say anything about that. But the one died falling down the stairs New Year's Eve. The next one died by being run over by a lorry in England.
what's a lorry?
It's like a taxi, I think.
Okay.
Or is that a bus? I can't remember.
I don't know. What are the double-decker buses called?
I can't remember.
Okay.
But she was riding her bike and got run over by a lorry, is what it says. And the other one was walking in Ireland and got hit by lightning.
Well, how can that be an assassination?
They suspect.
Are we going to get into the big conspiracy with HARP and stuff? Are you going to really get me going here?
Supposedly,
how the fuck do you assassinate somebody with lightning?
Supposedly he was by himself. They don't know if it was lightning. They suspect.
And they were climate change deniers, or they were climate change
Supporters, probably.
Supporters would be my guess.
They were most likely, if he's claiming assassination, they had to have been supporters of man-made climate change. And somebody who stood to lose a lot of profit if they start reducing greenhouse gases and emissions and shit like that. That's the only way that I could see this being legit.
But
is if they were supporting
supposedly had been run off the road recently himself by another lorry.
But what groundbreaking discovery had they made beyond what, like Eric said, 90% of the scientific community didn't already agree with, that would have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt and affected somebody in such a way that they felt like they needed to assassinate him?
And it doesn't really get into that.
It wouldn't, because otherwise the assassination wouldn't have been effective, right?
Yeah. Because the whole argument here is climate change happens no matter whether humans were here or not. I mean, with the continental drift and everything.
Right. There's natural climate change
that happens over tens of thousands of years.
Right.
What climate change scientists are saying is that humans have sped this up. And, like, is above 90. I think the last I heard is like 98% of scientists believe that humans, with our activities with burning fossil fuels and all this bullshit,
Cow farts.
Just the way that we affect nature and the ecosystem and the balance in general wouldn't surprise me.
We've sped this up, and it's not global warming per se, but the Earth is warming up in certain parts and getting cooler in other parts. They need to dish the the global warming vernacular and go with climate change, because this was going to happen. The polar ice caps are melting. We're going to lose a lot of our coastal cities over all this stuff, and this is not.
Because we'll build domes, and they'll become like Atlantis cities just off the shore. It'll be fucking awesome.
That'll work.
Oh, how did that work out for Atlantis?
We have engineers.
Oh, yeah, we don't know where the fuck it's at.
Well, they didn't realize just exactly how much water was going to fill into the hole, all right?
What were they saying?
And what do you mean? Atlantis is thriving, Toby. We just don't know about it.
Yeah.
I'm sure the fish are just having a ball down there.
It's fucking stupid. Like 23 feet ocean rise. We lose Florida, which I'm okay with.
Yeah, fuck that money.
Yeah.
A lot of
Louisiana.
But where is a lot of our content going to come from if Florida disappears?
Yeah, right. Podcast is over. We're done.
No more crazy assholes in Florida. What the fuck are we going to talk about?
Did you hear, or did you watch that episode last week tonight? When he's like, get rid of Florida, and we don't really need it anyway. We'll still have a 50-state flag if we let this.
We'll just let the Cubans in.
It was. I can't remember, but
I'm not a geologist, but if we lose Florida, wouldn't Cuba be gone too?
No. He just wanted us to throw him out of the United States.
Oh, he wasn't talking about losing him like what Eric's talking about.
No.
I'm like, if Florida's underwater, I'm reasonably sure Cuba will be underwater too.
No, there was a song that went with it. I was watching it on YouTube.
I don't watch it because I don't miss John Oliver.
So what's going to happen? What you're telling me is that between the ice caps melting and eliminating a lot of our coastal line, and then fucking, not that we could ever get away from Yellowstone anyway, but now we're really not going to be able to fucking get away from it because the ocean's going to be that much closer.
Don't you see they discovered a new chain of mountains?
We're not going to have anywhere to run.
They discovered a new chain of volcanoes running all the way, ancient volcanoes running all the way up the eastern seaboard.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they're not
Yellowstone erupts, and we just like cockroaches running out of the kitchen. We just all flee to the seaboard, and then all of a sudden, all these other volcanoes go off
That's what
too.
they're saying. If Yellowstone ever erupted, like these are ancient dormant volcanoes. They're still active, but they're. I mean, like Yellowstone has. Like,
Well, I think you're confused because the opposite of dormant is active. So if they're ancient dormant volcanoes, they can't be active.
Okay, but what they're saying is like a Yellowstone has like 50,000 years in between, give or take.
It's 200,000.
Yeah, it's more than 50.
200,000.
Yeah.
So they're saying that like these are still active, but they're laying dormant down in there. But so if that ever popped, while we're running away, that would cause those to explode.
No. Well, that's
Shinoa's in a
Run,
state of
Shinoa,
depression, right? You just gotta
Japan
smile.
is just screwed.
You just gotta smile, Shinoa. You can't let this shit drag you down because if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. There's nothing we can do about it, you know?
I can still be sad about it.
If it's our time to die, it's our time to die. I'll wait until it's actually happening to really dread it.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck,
I
it's
was
gonna happen
actually
in my
reading
lifetime.
up on that here not that long ago. Just
Right now,
couple
I'm
weeks
just
ago.
banking on it not happening while I'm alive.
it's really, really unlikely that it's ever going to happen in our lifetime.
Well,
And the reasons that
Even
people
though
were
it's
going
supposedly
nuts-
60,000 years overdue.
No,
Well, they
it's
don't
not
know
even
that-
that close.
No.
they don't know that it'll ever happen at all because it's got all those pressure vents.
Yeah,
where
it's-
it's releasing.
They're
They're-
thinking that didn't have that before?
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
They created that in their last big explosion. So, I mean, because all the geysers and stuff, it's releasing pressure.
So aliens probably rigged that up for us.
Well,
and
if you ask the
saved us.
History Channel, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no,
Because the history
but it's also
is
moving.
all about real history.
It's
They're-
also
they're
it's
the
also
ancient
moving.
aliens, guys.
It's moving. If you go back and study the previous eruptions there, it's actually moving towards the northeast.
Well, I mean, that makes sense with we learned about plate tectonics back
Yeah.
in elementary
That's
school.
exactly it.
I mean, the Earth is constantly shifting and morphing. I mean, we'll never see it in 10 generations. You wouldn't really notice much difference, but over the course of 100,000 years, yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Japan might be closer than Hawaii.
Right. Well, and then you talk about other factors like what we were talking about earlier, climate change, you know. I mean, the surface of the Earth in 100,000 years is probably going to look a whole lot different.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna
You
look
look
like Justin
stressed.
Bieber.
I'm really stressed out.
I forgot Marcus sent me a
But the
story.
last
you guys
eruption, I
understand
think
what
they said, was like 70,000 years ago.
Think of it this way, Shinoa. Your grandchildren's 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 grandchildren probably won't even experience any of this.
What about their grandchildren?
Well, eventually, yes, someone down your ancestral
We're
line.
going to be wiped out by asteroids
know.
way
You just-
before that comes
You
along.
just need to come to terms with the fact that if we don't kill ourselves as a species, some of your ancestors are going to be killed by a supervolcano. It's going to happen.
Eventually, the sun is going to destroy this planet.
Yeah. There's no way for the human race to survive unless we master space travel because eventually it'll be engulfed by the sun.
In 3 billion years, if we haven't figured our shit out yet.
Yeah. We need to die.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he had the scientists, and I
Well,
have
Marcus sent me a story.
Okay, what story you got?
It's more people have been killed this year, in the past year, by selfies than by shark attacks.
That does not surprise me.
That's Darwinism at work right
Yeah.
there.
Selfies have caused more deaths this year than shark attacks.
How do you die during something like car accident?
Well, here's the
Yeah.
first one they talk about.
The
Earlier
guy
this
with
week,
the water moccasin.
a tourist tragically
Yeah.
fell to his death while posing for a selfie at the Taj Mahal.
The one guy was trying to take a big selfie with a water moccasin and got bit in the face. Then you got the guys that keep trying to take selfies with bears
I'm all
and
for it,
tigers and lions.
Let
I
him
think
have
it's called natural selection.
People in
Yeah.
Yellowstone trying to take selfies with bison.
Oh,
getting
yeah.
gored.
Fucking let this take its course,
Yeah.
man. Don't even stop these people. Just let it happen.
Yeah.
No. Now you know commercials or anything. Just
I think
Well,
the
well, that
Surgeon
one guy-
General should release a fucking statement of the danger of selfies.
The one guy took the selfie outside of the ISIS place and got the whole damn place blown up.
yeah, we were talking about that
Yeah.
a couple podcasts ago. So what else you got there? Tell me what kind of examples you got.
I don't think it had any more examples.
You
Said
know-
that the authorities in Russia have actually gone so far as to publish a brochure warning of the dangers involved with selfies. You know,
Kind of like what I was
if
just saying.
Russia
Awesome.
thinks it's fucking dangerous,
It's
Yeah, it's a bad
fucking
idea. Yeah.
dangerous.
Well,
Putin's
what
like,
is
we got to
it?
get on
Is
this
it
shit.
China or China or Japan where they made special walkways for people that were like
Oh yeah, always on their
on
fucking
their cell
devices.
phones
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah, I can't remember where it was.
I-
But they made it was how they have running paths and they have
Right.
walking paths. They had a special path for people on their phone.
Shit.
What's this world coming to? We've had some science-y talk, and now he's talking about selfies. So it brings up something that I've thought about here for a while. And obviously I'm not serious, it's tongue-in-cheek, but the Nobel Prize, I don't know how much it costs to buy a Nobel Prize these days. But does anyone even take them seriously anymore outside of the scientific?
You don't buy
know,
them; they're given to you.
Yeah.
God, you guys, I got to work on my sarcasm delivery. I know.
You
I'm
get $1
saying
million
that some of the
I think
people
it's
who
a
have
$1 million
won Nobel
award.
Prizes, you might as well be fucking buying them. It's
No,
absurd.
Oh,
they're
well,
handed out
yeah.
by site.
Huh?
Are they? I mean,
Well,
I know what
shit,
you're saying. I
it
know what
was-
you're saying.
Some
or
of the
whatever,
people
but-
have won Nobel Prize. I got outside of the scientific realm, the Nobel Peace Prize, the Nobel, things like that. Particularly the Nobel Peace Prize is a fucking joke.
Yeah.
I'm
well,
sorry,
they
it
gave
is.
it to what? Who was it?
I think
Obama was the
Obama
last one to get
won
one.
the last one for promises,
No, it wasn't.
or I don't know.
It was a dictator won it.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway,
Well, he's handling his shit.
my proposition is that we just go ahead and does anybody even give a fuck? Even the scientific advancements, does anybody really give a fuck about the Nobel Prizes anymore? Like mainstream? No.
The guys that win it get $1 million.
Well, yeah, they
Yeah,
do
but
because
the
it's
population.
funding for life,
Okay, I'll bet you
basically.
more people could tell me what Kim Kardashian wore to the last event than could tell me who won the Nobel Prize in physics, right?
Yeah.
I can't tell you either one, but I'm just saying if I
Better
was to
tits
guess.
were out though. I bet they were
Yeah.
out.
So let's just
Swinging.
go ahead. Let's make the Nobel Prizes fucking hip and make everybody interested in
Give her
them.
the Nobel Peace
There
Prize
should
for
be a
titties.
Nobel Prize for best outfit at the Grammys, a Nobel Prize for most followers on Twitter, a Nobel Prize for the best selfie of the year, a Nobel Prize for most wealth. Obviously, that would be, what's really important in our society. We might as well make the Nobel Prizes based on that, right?
Best chicken sandwich.
That would take all the air out of the Nobel Prize.
No, it would make everybody give a fuck again.
No, it wouldn't.
Oh, tell me, you honestly don't think anybody would give a shit about a Nobel Prize for the best selfie? People be all over that shit, dude. No one want to know who had the best selfie of the year.
I'd be angry.
Well, yeah, because you're a normal, functional, intelligent human being.
No, yeah, but I've been saying this for a while. I think it's awesome that Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bill Nye and Stephen Hawking and all these guys are getting rock star statuses now.
I'm
I like
not
that.
serious about changing
No,
the
I know-
Nobel.
I know-
I'm,
I know
I'm
what you
being an
mean.
asshole and sarcastic about where our priorities as a society are.
I know what you mean, but I like that. I like that McFarlane started up for Neil deGrasse Tyson that show, and Bill Nye is a celebrity again, and Stephen Hawking. I know he can't Twitter,
But see, here's the thing: you're calling these guys rock stars, and I like them, and I think
they're
they're
the rock
interesting
stars
as
of
fuck.
the community. They have podcasts. Listen to them. They're
But
fucking
when you,
awesome. They're
but
funny.
here's,
They
but
curse.
listen to
They're-
my point.
they're
You're
human
calling them
beings.
rock stars, but if you were to ask the whole population how many people even know who Stephen Hawking is, do you think everybody knows him?
I think a lot of people know.
I think
who
you'd be
Stephen
surprised how many people don't know who the fuck he is or what he does.
Hawking is. You know who Stephen Hawking is.
Yes.
Okay.
Nobel
Well,
Peace Prize. That's the one that got me. It was Yasser Arafat won the Nobel Peace Prize in
For what? What did he do?
1994. I have no idea.
He
what-
didn't kill a bunch of
He
people that
didn't
year.
invade the country next to him.
He stopped
Well,
killing the people in
Adolf
the
Hitler was
village.
Times Man of the Year at one point. Okay, it can be taken back.
They took it back.
Well, Man of
should.
the
Did
Year
they-
makes
did
more
they-
sense though, because even though he was a dick, he was
He got
he
shit
was
done.
Man of the Year. I mean, he was the center of everything in the world there for a while, So I get Man of the Year, but the Peace Prize, should be someone who facilitated peace. And like we were joking, it can't just be because you stopped killing the people that you were killing for the last 10 years. All right, give him the Peace Prize. He decided to end his genocide, so we better give him the Peace Prize.
So did he get Man of the Year and the Nobel Peace Prize for ending his own life?
He should have. His death led to an era of peace that probably wouldn't have been seen otherwise, so yeah.
Okay, we've been going for a little bit. You guys want to end on something lighthearted?
End on something that I don't have an opinion on. What's that for?
I have never found anything you don't have an opinion on.
There's some things. NASCAR. Get up a NASCAR story.
No, I got one just real quick, and then we'll end it.
Or golf. You got a golf story?
HPV. I know it sounds
Human
papilloma virus.
Yeah.
Pavlova.
Papillova? Pavlova.
And this happened a couple years ago, but it's having a new recurrence now. You think eating pussy gives you throat cancer?
Do I?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
No, but I was reasonably convinced it gave me a cold sore once, but that's probably nonsense.
You have to talk to that young lady is what you need to do. Michael Douglas came out and said it a few years ago that the reason why he had throat cancer and
was because he ate pussy.
He's eating all that sweet pussy. But he got HPV in his throat, which scientists are coming out and saying, no, it might be a possibility. So, Russell. Yeah, how many chicks... You go down,
How
right?
many chicks, Eric? We know the answer to that.
I'm rephrasing the question.
Why don't you just knock me on the floor and then kick me?
But you're a fan of going down, right?
Not particularly. That's one of those
You don't like it?
compromise activities.
Toby?
It's all right.
Go down?
What's that?
You go down on ladies?
Yeah.
On all of them?
At once?
Yeah.
That a kid.
No.
But basically what they're saying is Michael Douglas might have been right. When you're going down. No, right?
I have been vindicated.
So what scientists are kind of thinking sort of now is that when you are going down on a girl, you might be able to get some of that HPV down in your throat, whatever, and it might actually give you throat cancer.
Bad day.
Who swallows?
Some types can
What?
Who
cause
swallows?
health problems, including genital warts and cancers.
If you're doing it
this
right,
is
you're
the
going to get some of
CDC.
that down in your throat.
Hey, you just spit on it.
What?
We have different
Different
techniques,
techniques.
apparently.
You spit on it and punch it a few times. No, that's not going down on a girl.
I went down on there.
No, I get what you're saying. Some saliva gets built up a little bit.
You've never got hair stuck in your teeth?
Well, I sure as hell don't swallow them. I mean, God. I don't know. I guess I get it. I get it now. Like a little bit could end up being swallowed, I
Yeah, you
suppose.
better swallow it because I don't want to end the night with a soaking wet bed.
Well, that's rather hypocritical given the last conversation
Yeah, I
that we
know
had
that
with
you
you
don't
about
swallow.
swallowing. You're like, you
Well-
goddamn well better swallow it, but yeah, you're not.
Well, fine, then have like
I'll
a
just
little
let it puddle up in your
bucket.
belly button.
My belly button's not that deep.
That's
I don't.
Okay, not you. I'm just saying, when I say we'll just put some plastic down, I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying we'll just put some plastic down to avoid the mess.
I'd be down for some plastic.
towels,
Like a towel.
or a sponge.
Right.
I
Or a
spit
mop.
It out somewhere.
You never
like, I don't
know.
You just
swallow
grow a
it.
beard.
It's still coming in my mouth. I'm just gonna spit it out.
He
Yeah.
comes up
Keeps
with
it in
like a
there.
mad dog,
Then
dripping out of his
then
face.
everybody knows what you've been doing.
Yeah, but girls don't necessarily come like dudes. Dudes are like, we're done.
Usman was like, it's like,
Well, that and you know when they talk about here we are talking about this shit. I thought we were going to get off this. women, for you to swallow,
off.
swallow bodily fluids, they don't even have to come. They can just get wet, and some of that,
Well, that's
You know,
that's what you're saying.
can probably
you're getting
happen.
some of that, and it goes down your throat. And
right?
Then
Yeah,
you got
throat
HPV.
Throat cancer.
You
Stomach
fucked
cancer.
Russ.
Then you got
Intestinal
genital
cancer.
warts in your throat.
If you're going around eating all those pussies, fucked you
It's
over.
this information.
Eating
is-
ain't cheating.
It's a game changer. for
No,
him.
no, I'm saying no. You didn't let me finish. I was going to say this information is not going to deter me. You know, I'm not usually excited or enthusiastic about doing it, but if that's what she wants,
Oh,
and
you want to quit smoking because of cancer?
throat cancer does not
taking
stop that from happening. If that's what I have to do, then that's what I have to do.
What?
I'll brave throat cancer. I guess
Russell's
is
going
what
to
I'm
eat
saying.
pussy in the face of death.
He's a good man.
I don't know if
I
like
just
that
can't
top-
justify
You're so
that
brave.
point.
Until I quit smoking, I really couldn't wrap my
Dad
head around
has throat
justifying
cancer
not
right
doing
now.
that because it might give me throat
Yours
cancer.
does?
Yeah. Dad's got cancer in his throat right now. I don't want to think about that topic.
Oh, dude, I'm sorry.
Oh no,
talk-
I'm not talking about the cancer part of it. I
You don't
wanna
wanna
know-
go ask
I don't
your
wanna
dad?
go ask if he had HPV in his throat.
Go ask your dad how active he was with oral back
Mom,
in the
did
day.
you kill Dad? I'm sorry. That's fucked up. He's just been eating pussy like a champ.
Yeah.
Dad's a good man.
Taking care of Mom.
Yeah.
Dang. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude.
That's all right. No, that's just you
I
guys
didn't
are sitting there
think
talking
about-
about HPV causing throat cancer. And
I
I'm
didn't
like,
even think about that.
I don't
'cause
want
you
to think
just
about
told us.
Dad eating.
Is there
Yeah.
such thing? Okay, women can get ovarian cancer. They can get cervical cancer. Can you get vaginal cancer? Like, can you actually get cancer on that
the
part?
lips?
Yeah, or
Yeah.
or any of the components there.
I'm sure if you can
I'm
get
sure
skin
you-
cancer.
Like a-
You can get
Tumor,
dick
maybe?
cancer. I'm sure you can get pussy cancer.
Well, that was my other question: is dick cancer a thing?
yeah.
you get-
we
can you get
looked it up that one time.
Penile cancer?
Yeah, we looked it up
Cock
that
cancer?
one time. Yeah.
I think it's pretty rare.
Because we were talking about spiders causing penis cancer.
Oh, you can get testicular cancer.
Yeah.
So I don't know why. I just never heard of dick cancer.
I've
Yeah,
never
we looked it
either.
up.
Well, it's
that
not the
one time.
medical term.
Yeah.
I don't walk into. Yeah, you got pussy lip cancer.
Is there like a name
What I
for
guess
that?
my
Nope.
question was though that okay, if eating pussy can give me throat cancer because of HPV, can I get dick cancer from it too then?
Yeah.
No, you get HPV.
You get
it.
HPV, and HPV can cause cancer.
But
Yes.
can it cause cancer on my dick?
I don't know.
Yeah,
HPV.
Because I'm not worried about my throat. I don't need that shit.
I don't know. HPV
Yeah, I don't
only
need to
doesn't
eat.
affect guys like it does girls.
No, it doesn't. It does not. I
And
mean,
there's-
we're carriers. We will give it to other girls.
Yeah, but you'll never know you even have it
Well-
unless you get a certain strain that causes
Yeah,
warts.
HPV is a big deal for girls. So
Our tissue
So
in
I
our
have sex with a girl who
downstairs
has
is
HPV,
different than their tissue.
and then I go have sex with another girl. I'm not gonna show any symptoms. They probably will.
Yeah, scary thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
See, HPV, in most cases, HPV goes away on its own and does not cause any health problems. But when HPV does not go away, it can cause health problems like genital warts and cancer.
It was. It's ridiculous too. It's like. I think all of us in here probably have HPV.
And it's viral. Well, because see, that's what I was thinking that was like a common thing. Like it's
I got an answer for you. on
sort
that,
of
too.
dormant. Like most people do have it.
We just got answers. Hang on.
Okay, HPV can cause cervical and other cancers, including cancers of the vulva, vagina, penis, or anus.
Wow, that's crazy.
And can also cause cancer in the back of the throat, including the base of the tongue and tonsils.
Wow. So basically, if you see a girl just covered in vagina warts, don't go down on that one. All right, say
If
no.
she's if she's covered in vagina warts, she has a huge vagina. Like it's taking up the majority of her body.
I think if I'm going down and I see a
I
wart,
know
I'm
what
like,
you mean. I'm being a dick as usual.
what's that?
I don't think I've ever seen a genital wart.
I haven't.
We should look them up. Let's find pictures of genital warts. This is where our night's going.
Well, as gross as it is, I almost do want to Google an image of it, so that way I have some recon, so I don't be like, wonder what that is.
I need to just do a
we're
little
already this far. I'm still
examination real
fucking,
quick.
You know what? If it's protruding
Like I want to
and
know,
bumpy,
I want to know
don't
what a
do it.
genital wart looks like, so I know when to put on the brakes. You know what I mean?
I think they're probably
You
warning
can get
signs.
vaccinated.
2 out of
for
3
HPV.
girls have HPV
You can. There's a
now.
vaccination for HPV. You know?
Yeah.
But it
Well,
go-
beforehand, you got to get it before you.
Well, right.
get
Yeah.
It's the way
but mo-
vaccinations
it,
work.
like,
Yeah, they kind of gear
it
it
goes
towards
away.
like 16-year-old girls, like right before
Yeah.
they start having sex.
Well, because
they're
I might be mistaken,
done growing.
but viral infections are different than bacterial infections. That bacterial infections can be treated with antibiotics, but viral infections can't, right?
right.
Correct.
So there really isn't. Are there even treatments for viral infections, or is there just medication they give you to
You can
alleviate the
suppress them.
symptoms?
You can't cure them.
Any viral infections? That can't be true because like cold's a virus, and then you get over colds.
You can't cure.
Your
cold.
body can.
Yeah, your body
Yeah.
just has
Over
to
time.
naturally fight it off.
But
itself.
like herpes is viral. You can't get rid of it. It just lays dormant until it wants to spring.
Well,
up.
but
Yeah.
theoretically, I mean, it's an off chance, but your immune system, certain viruses, well, like for HIV, for instance, it's not out of the
Okay,
realm of
potentially
possibility.
Your body can take care of it,
Right.
but we have no vaccine for it.
Right. So, same with HPV. Then it is possible that my immune system might beat it.
Oh, it
girls
beats it.
get rid of it all the
Actually,
time.
HPV
You just have
is
a higher
beat
chance of
in
getting
most
it again.
cases. Most cases, your body beats it out itself.
Oh, so it's a lot like a cold virus, and there must be a lot of different strains of this virus.
Yeah, there's tons
Yeah,
of
it
Okay.
depends on your immune system
girls
and things
usually
like that.
once they hit childbearing years, so when you have a baby, because how they check for HPV is when you have a pap smear, they swab your cervix and then they test that for HPV, and if you have it, then they check for like if some cells have changed, and if it hasn't, then you go back in a year, blah 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 blah. But then if you have a baby, like when the baby's going through the cervix, it tears layers of it off, and it a lot of times just goes away. You don't have it again, ever. So that's why now, like, girls don't have to have pap smears or anything until they're like 25 or something like that, because it was getting to the point that every single girl had HPV. But then if you test later, after, because now women are having children younger, and then you test after they get married, settle down, have kids, no one has it, because your body fights it, and after you have kids, a lot of times it
Yeah,
just goes away.
once your body has the antibodies
Your
for it.
newborn's just covered in it. Because
Well,
HPV baby.
I've always assumed HPV was one of those things like cold sores. It's like 90% of the population fucking has the virus. It's
Well, I don't know if I read it somewhere, but for some reason I was thinking when you mentioned HPV, I had it in my head that like that's something that most people have and don't even know they have it.
Yep.
Like, it's just
Yeah, most
constant.
people have had it and have gotten rid of it, and now their antibodies fight it off.
Right.
Anyway, so. And they're no longer contagious after that.
super common. It's part of your DNA.
Pretty
You
much
ain't gonna
every
get
girl
rid of it.
that's
It's
ever
exactly
had
what
an
it is.
abnormal
It's
pap smear
a
has
DNA
some type
disease.
of HPV. Every single girl.
That's yet another reason why I'm glad I'm not a woman.
Yeah,
All the
bullshit.
the necessary maintenance
there.
for that stuff down there. Like there's no such thing like a gynecologist, There's not a male equivalent of that. Is there?
Urologist.
Urologist.
Yeah, but I don't have to regularly see my urologist.
No, just go there when shit's messed up.
Just like when my dick's not working,
Yeah.
chances are
What's
they'll
up,
just
dick doctor?
go see my dick doctor,
I'm
Go to the
back.
proctologist,
And even then, it's not as invasive. It's not going to be as not embarrassing necessarily, but I imagine there's some definite discomfort involved with visiting a gynecologist.
Probably as
I don't
much as
think
the
that-
proctologist.
Well,
I've
yeah,
had
but that's not
Claws
that's
go in me, take chunks out of me.
yeah.
Claws. And
Like if anything, if I had to go see a
biopsies out of my
Oh, yeah.
cervix and stuff.
see, because here's the thing, like okay, if you
It
have
hurts.
if you have
Sucks.
a woman, right, and I
you're
would
just
imagine.
bleeding.
You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I would imagine in general women are probably more comfortable seeing a female gynecologist than a male gynecologist. Yay or nay?
I have only ever had male gynecologists. and
But would you be more comfortable maybe with a female, or is at this point it just doesn't matter?
no, it doesn't.
I guess what I'm saying is that, okay, if there was
My
the
husband
male
prefers
equivalent.
me to see a female one.
Right, I
He
imagine.
tells me that.
What I'm saying is that I don't think that any woman ever has been aroused by a gynecological
No,
appointment.
there's nothing sexy about laying on a bed with your legs up in stirrups and some hooks,
Right.
tongs and shit coming after you.
Okay,
But here's the thing.
That some people pay good money for that.
If I
All
had
right?
if I had a problem down there and I had to see a urologist and the only one available was a female, I'd probably have to think about baseball the entire time if she's handling my penis in any way to
Been
make
there.
sure that I didn't get an
Been there.
erection.
And no. Have you ever had a penis swab? You ain't keeping an erection through that.
Oh, that's where they go in the urethra?
They take a 10-inch piece of wood. I'm not
Splitters.
like a club.
It's about this thick around.
It's a 10-inch
Barbed wire all over it.
That's what it feels like. It's a 10-inch Q-tip.
10 inches? That's going to poke out my fucking spine, dude.
And it's gonna
There's no way I don't
And that's
have that
exactly
much.
what it
and it's
feels
gonna
like.
feel like it too.
Because I had a catheter, and I
Then-
imagine it must be pretty similar.
Yeah, when I went and get tested for the clap, took out this huge fucking Q-tip. It must have been this fucking long. No, but you know what I mean. But yeah, they don't lube it up. They got to go in dry, and they twist and they shove all the way down in there, and they got to get in there, huh?
Yeah,
It burns like a
I can't even
motherfucker.
imagine.
But when I went,
it's better than what the cure used to be for that.
because when I got burnt, I went into the student section, or so they have
Just hot nurses around to make fun of
no
your dick.
they have the doctor, but they have the person that's following them around to see what
The intern.
the interns
Right.
or whatever. So they come in, they ask me, they're like, "Well, we're gonna test you for chlamydia and everything," and yeah. But we have this girl. She's an intern or whatnot, and
So is she hot?
she's
Yeah.
she's
Well,
cute.
then no, thank you.
She was cute, but I'm at the point where it burnt enough where I peed. I knew I fucking had it, and I was like, yeah, I just need to get what I need to get. So what the fuck ever, and so this older lady, never a dude ever. So I got this older lady, and she brings in this she's probably as young as me, if not younger, and yeah, she grabs the Q-tip and she'll the pee hole and all the way down in. And
Oh, yeah, you're using
and-
the microphone as an example.
Yeah.
You know it was more like this.
No, but you feel it all the way down into your back. Like
yeah.
she's in there and she's twisting it around and everything, like she's screwdrivering it in there, and she pulls it out, and you think it's gonna be like Mortal Kombat.
Finish him.
Pulls your spine out your urethra.
But yeah, it's just like, well, we're gonna go test this and everything, and
But then she tells the chicks, like, we don't even have to do this anymore.
but
We just do this so they don't fuck strangers. You know, condoms on.
but basically,
It's not
we
even
can test this
necessary
without-
procedure. It's just a deterrent from them having this lifestyle.
but so the interns back there are watching all this, and they leave. I'm sitting back there. This is like 20, 30 minutes. I'm sitting in there and whatever. I grab condoms out of the jar and everything and all this stuff. Because after this, you're really concerned about condoms. But they come back to say,
I think after that, I'd be taking a break from fucking for a while. I would,
but
but that's just me.
well, we can get into this later because I called my friends and told them why I was in the hospital.
Yeah, you called me. I had just gotten out of
also
jail
got a
when
phone
you
call.
gave me a call telling me you were in the hospital for it.
Because I was supposed to go party with Adam.
We were having a bad week.
I was supposed to go party with Adam and Ben that night, and I had called Adam, and I heard Adam run in the shower, and they both started laughing at me in the shower. But
Wait, Adam was in the shower with Ben?
No, he ran into the shower once I told him why I was in the hospital.
Because you
Like,
said they were both laughing at me in the shower.
Well, they were because he ran into the shower to tell Ben.
Right, gotcha.
But anyway, the test comes back. This says the test come back negative for chlamydia, but she's gonna treat me anyway. So how that works or whatever.
Yeah, you look like
Wow,
a sketchy dude.
this
You
chick
could
is
use some
sadistic.
antibiotics.
But and then me being who I am, because I'm supposed to go to a party with Ben and Adam, was like, can I take these antibiotics with alcohol? She's like, if you're gonna drink tonight, start them tomorrow.
Wow.
It's better than what the treatment used to be.
What was the treatment used to be?
They used to heat up the end of a glass rod and sear the inside of your penis.
Well, I heard that was for gonorrhea.
I think it was for both.
Somebody, I don't know who it was, and it wasn't for a venereal disease. It was something else. But they were describing a procedure where they shoved a rod up the end of his deal up through the urethra. But then on the end of it, there was something. It was like
a spike.
Yeah, a little spike that come out.
For gonorrhea.
Is that what it was for?
That's what I always heard.
But
That's
yeah,
what they do for, like, I've had that done. They stick this thing up into my my cervix, and then when they pull it back out, it just tears flesh off. That hurt.
is that how they take a biopsy?
Yeah, sort of.
That
Because when they're checking for cervical cancer, I know they have to do that.
I had that done.
It's
That
horrible.
hurt. Yeah.
Stop it.
Oh, it hurt. It
I'll
was a really,
imagine.
and she kept doing it, and she was like really just scraping it, just like.
You're like, despite what you might
And
think,
I was
I'm not enjoying
screaming.
this. You don't
I
need to
was
do it
like,
harder.
It hurt.
Yeah.
She's like, well, I've got to get a lot of flesh off of there. I'm like, God, I think you got enough. It was bad. It was a bad day. That hurt.
Yeah, that doesn't sound appealing
It wasn't.
at all.
It wasn't. So and that's for a girl. I can't imagine doing it for a guy, but it's way worse.
A Q-tip hurt. I can't imagine having a fucking.
Well,
I
the
know,
only
that's what
thing I
mean. I'm
could
sure it's
the
way
only
worse
thing
for
I
her.
could think is that while there might be some areas, I don't know, that would sound really ignorant when it comes to female anatomy, but you don't urinate through the cervix. So if they're doing it there with a guy like through the urethra, my biggest concern would be like I might have to piss within the next 4 hours. Like if you go and fucking scrape shit out the inside of my urethra, that's gonna be like pissing on an open wound.
You know
You
what?
know, that's gonna burn so fucking bad.
Maybe they put like a cath in after you get something like that.
I don't know. I'd just be like, can you just give me a bag and a catheter after you do that, so that way it just bypasses this
Maybe
shit?
that's why it hurt so bad afterwards. Because I got swabbed. Because it kind of burned a little bit before
Well, I imagine after they did
Afterwards?
that, the first couple times you peed probably hurt worse than when you were before you got treated.
But your
Yeah.
pee is sterile.
Yeah,
It's-
but it also has salt in it.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never pissed on an open wound. Maybe I'll, if I got a sore on my foot, I'll pee on it, see if pee burns.
Somebody cut Russell. I'm going to pee on it.
cut my toe and I'm gonna pee on it in the shower.
Science.
I guess I assumed that urine would burn in a wound.
I would
Maybe
say,
it
yeah.
doesn't. I would imagine it does. Well, I would think that's why it hurts when you pee when you have that disease, right? Because that disease is probably causing sores in there
Yeah.
or some sort of inflammation.
I came up negative, so maybe my dick just had a cold. I have no idea. But they gave me the antibiotics. They said I come up negative. She's going to treat me for it anyway.
Well, I know after that trip to that concert, it hurt for a couple days afterwards.
Yeah, well, you can only hold 4 gallons of piss for so long.
Yeah. Yeah, I pissed blood for a week after
You probably
that.
had a UTI if you.
I was
held
gonna
pee
say.
that
I was
long.
gonna say.
Probably
She's
a
all
UTI.
medical terms. I was gonna call it a urinary tract infection, but
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, it was. I only had to hold it for about an hour and a half, but it was
You'll
long
do
enough. It hurt when
Yeah,
I
quit.
went.
I quit fucking drinking because of that. Because like I just stood in line for a half hour to pee. I gotta quit drinking beer now.
It's the worst fucking concert ever.
Oh yeah.
I really liked the bands. I didn't like anything else that was going on though. It's fucking cold. South Dakota,
Yeah.
Sioux City Falls, one of those fucking.
we probably got enough now. We can wrap it up, don't we?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Speaking
Nobody's
of,
watching, so
speaking
we're
of STDs, let's wrap this up.
Let's end on a positive note.
HIV positive.
nobody's listening. So what's the last words?
What?
What's the last words?
Oh,
Think of something quick.
it's like nobody's listening, not even us.
What?
We've all zoned out. This got gross.
My mind's all over the place.
We didn't
Yeah, I'm
bring the
like
fucking-
half like getting
I
a
had-
boner, half like it's inside me.
I had to go to my mental happy
It doesn't
place.
know what to do. Like, oh, they're fucking, it burns when I pee.
I had to go to my mental happy place when we started talking about the various procedures. So
Fuck it, everybody, good night.
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 Bye, chlamydia.